Welcome to Pretty Lies and Ugly Truths, where you can either die with the lie or.
The truth will set you free.
And I am the Alex E. Miller, and that lovely voice of reason you just heard was
Toya, the truth.
Toya the Truth. And as we always do here on Pretty Lies and Ugly Truths, we allow the guests to introduce themselves. So, you treat it like first day of school, first day on the job, tell them everything they don't know, they should know what they need to know, et cetera, et cetera. Whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, thank you for having me, guys. I am Dina Marto. I am the founder of C&D, the agency. I have been in the music business for nearly 20 years. So yeah, here I am.
Okay.
All right.
That's what's
Sounds
up.
good.
So I like that. You led off with C&D, the agency.
Yeah. So we got
congratulations
a
on
new
that.
thing. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is for Courtney and Dina. So if you wouldn't mind, I know with C&D, the agency, it's something that's based around empowering young women who want to get in the industry like yourself. Am I correct?
Right. Well, basically the concept is, so Courtney and I have been friends for many years. We've done projects before in the past, and she's been a guru on the marketing and branding and PR side for many years. And I've been doing talent management and project management, some operations management. So we're just combining our expertise and our services together, having previous clients and new clients, getting them together. But the main and the greater purpose is, and the reason why we started the agency, is to empower and mentor the next generation of female leaders. And we really want to provide more opportunity for minority women.
Okay. Nice. Now with that, what exactly are you guys' like clients, the usual clients? Are these women that are trying to be artists or model? What exactly are?
We're building an all women led team, but that doesn't mean our clients have to be women. We're not anti-men.
Yeah, for sure.
We just want to provide, we want to have a safe space for women to collaborate, to work together and not be in competition with each other. Because a lot of times in these male dominated industries, we find that they try to pit women against each other. And so we want to just show people, you can bring your best skills to the table. We'll all work together. And our clients, the majority of our clients are really men at this point, but it's more of the established brands. It can be, so right now we have like Grammy Award winning producer Tricky Stewart and some new projects that he has coming up. We have Gio in his empire with his restaurants. I don't know if you know of Antico Pizza and Tropical and all the different, the big empire of food restaurants that he has. And then we're getting, and we're working on other clients and bringing things forward. So we just launched. So we've got some things in the works. So we'll be talking about more of our clients later.
Okay. Well, the only reason I asked is because just even watching you and knowing what you do, for one, I admire that so much, because I think especially in our culture, we're boxed in on the guys, you got to be a football player, you got to be an athlete, a rapper. The women are now we're coming up in that same box. Well, I want to be the next rapper. Then I want to be, on Love and Hip Hop, I want to be shown as this type of person. And I have 4 daughters. So it's important for me to figure out where do we start educating everybody where there's more to do than just being this superstar, someone like yourself, someone that's successful, that's big and been out here for so long, but you ain't on, IG with the, your booty out when's the next rap battle? You know what I'm saying? So, nothing wrong with that, but I feel like we need more of that. So that's why I asked.
I'm glad you said that, because we're really trying to be role models for business women that want to know the different aspects of these businesses. And when I started off in the music business, I really, to be honest with you guys, wanted to be a singer-songwriter, right? And then when I got in, I realized really fast that I wasn't the best, or wasn't as good as other people at singing and songwriting. So I switched over to the business side, but I had no idea at that time that there were so many different roles that you can have in helping a superstar become a superstar. They don't get on TV just by themselves. There's a whole team of people. So people really only see that front face, but they don't realize there's a whole team of people that get them to that point. And there's so many other jobs that you could be great at. And we want to we want to help women know what that is and figure that out. Like, do you like to do PR? Are you good at marketing? Are you great at digital advertising? Whatever that skill set is, just showing them that there's other things to do than just having to be the talent or the artist in front of the TV screen.
Okay, that's so awesome.
So I think
wait to ask you
I could be wrong
that.
on these stats. I think it's like 17% of the C-suite executives in the music industry are females, right? So
I mean, it's so
they're
small.
like outnumbered by like by miles.
It's crazy. When I first started, I could count on my hand how many women executives I knew, that, especially in C-suite positions or just executives that are not in the administrative or supportive roles. And that has changed since I've been in the industry. There's a lot more now, but we are still not equal, obviously, not equal in pay, not equal in job opportunity and promotion, how fast you get promoted, all of those things. So yes, we still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
And I heard you mentioned you wanted to lead, you want your legacy to be, leading the next generation of leaders, right? And you spoke of a lot of times the issue with women is, not necessarily knowing their value, because I mean, I think that's something you consistently speak of is, it's 3 times, you got to work 3 times as hard as men to be able to get in the same positions, but you get less the money. Why do you think that women don't know their value as much as, say, yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that most women may struggle to see that value within themselves like you do, to be able to get the equal pay and get those opportunities?
That's a good question. I think that men, when as boys, they're taught to compete with each other. They're taught that they are confident and strong and they can do whatever. And like, a man will look at a job opportunity and say, oh, I got 2 out of the 10 skills that they need, I could do this. And a woman will look at that same opportunity and say, oh, I don't have everything on that list, I can't do it. And I think it's just trying to help women know that being a woman is your superpower, to have confidence in what you bring to the table as a woman. And it took me, like, listen, I didn't just understand my value or understand how much I should be charging and the compensation I should have. That's a learning and growing experience. But I want to help other women know that, like, you can have the confidence to be equal and do the same. And we just have to push further in doing that.
For sure. And it's going to start with people like you that are pushing this education out. And that's just what it takes, is that there's so many things that we just don't know. There's so many young girls, even for me, I mean, as a mother of 4 daughters, I'm still learning how to be a strong woman. You know what I mean?
And I don't know how women do it with children. Like, let me just tell you, I have no children yet and I want to have children, but like for have 4 children, oh my God, like, and to still boss up and do your thing, it's a lot.
I'm still trying to ask somebody how to do it. So don't feel bad, because I don't know, you just try your best,
How is it that you don't, I guess, say, fell victim to the stereotypes of where a woman should be in her life? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to, because you spending so much time, like, you were Gucci's first publicist, right? So you writing like Gucci's first bio.
That's a fun fact.
You booked like Ross's flight to go see Shakira Stewart,
right?
And L.A. Reid or Jay-Z, I'm sorry, at the time for Def Jam. You know what I'm saying? With the stuff you're doing with Tip, is like, is there ever a time where throughout the course you thought about, like, you know what, let me take some time off because, maybe you want to be along the I guess the path of what people think you should be at a certain time in your life, to be married and with kids and stuff like that?
I struggle with that. I'm going to be honest with you. I come from the Middle East and I should have been married at 21 and I should have had 5 kids by now. Like, it's just the norm there. It's the stereotypical norm. So I think
21,
they just get married a lot younger out there. Right. And a lot of people aspire to be a housewife, and that's okay too. Like, everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur, and everybody's not meant to start their own business. There's a lot of people that are successful and like to be in a system, in a structure, in a company that they know what their role is and what they're trying to do. So everybody has their own path in it. But I think for me, I struggle with that a lot because, of course I'm trying to find the right husband and to start this family. Right. And you have to sacrifice a lot of yourself to be in this game. And I started at a very early age. So I don't think I ever took any time off. I want to start taking some time off. You know what I mean? I want to be able to build something that can go and do what it needs to do without me having to be in every single detail of it. So yeah, I'm still working at it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a balance.
So you look at, the family hustle, and other people now, it seems like the industry is starting to embrace, I guess the family dynamic. Would you be opposed to, whether it be a mate that's in the industry, outside the industry, and you have kids, would you be opposed to kind of like just saying, hey, let's go ahead and just do this thing together, to where it's like you got your kids traveling with you and stuff like that? Do you feel it's a way to do it without taking the time off?
I think, what I always think about is like kids really need your attention at the first couple years of their life. Like it's very, very important. And I would like to have at least the option to say like, oh, no, I'm not going to travel there. I'm not going to do that. I don't think I'll ever like completely just be not working, because I love to work. But I think that I would want to be able to have more time to spend with them, especially in their younger years, because I think it's really important part of their development.
Formative years.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just a natural thing, like being a parent, that just, it will come natural to you. You know what I mean? Like you just
saying, I'm like, how? I go through my day, and at the end of the day, I'm so tired. I'm like, what if I had to feed kids?
Man.
Give them baths and all sorts of stuff. Like how am I'm definitely gonna need a nanny. I think that's for sure.
Yeah, I need one too. Well, my kids are getting older. I have one in high school already.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So that's
so young. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you. So it's like
starting young.
Yeah. No, I mean I started at 21. I mean, I guess it's young. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a teen, but yeah, I was still young, because I wish I would have made it through the 20s at least. Part of the more, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, so like, even for myself, it's a lot easier because I have older children now. I'm glad I actually could have started now than earlier, which I think everything just happens when it's supposed to anyways. But even now I have to travel to Atlanta sometimes or whatever. And when we first started doing the show, because we had a studio at first, so I bring my kids. That's who I travel with. They're my best friends. Right. I got 2 daughters taller than me, so we look like friends when we out.
Where are you stationed now? Like, where are you based?
I'm near Savannah.
Okay.
And I'm in Buckhead.
Yeah. So it's a little.
Have you guys liked that everything is now virtual? Does it do you feel like it's helped with getting more guests and just being?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I mean, you get people that's out of state, and of course it makes it easier on us, because I mean, we like 4 hours away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
right.
It's less hassle on her and I just to even like get it popping. Otherwise, it's like it could be triple the work.
Exactly.
Have to go
for sure. I think for everybody though, I think it's easier for everybody. Like even for us to have like guests like you, like how hard is it? It's even more harder to take someone, like I could probably manage, but like to ask someone like you guys that are successful out here working and doing whatever you're doing, anybody like to take their time out to come somewhere. Yeah. That's rough. So once again, I always believe in things are happening on time, right? And things happen for a reason.
Exactly.
So yeah, it definitely works.
The Middle Eastern culture, right? Like from what you spoke of, is a culture where it's kind of like one thing can like ruin, you know what I'm saying, your reputation. It's kind of, you got to stick to the way the family, dynamic is. So I think if I'm not mistaken, your parents were married for over 40 years, and your pops, God bless the dead, even after he passed on, your mom never remarried. But I've also heard you say, that
she's like,
you understand how somebody could have multiple soulmates, right? So I'm like, where does somebody like you that come from that whole?
You have done your research.
So I'm like, you'd be the last person I would expect to be that open-minded to know of that even happening. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering where does that perspective come from? Being in the household, you've seen something so opposite.
Yeah, and I have, and that's why I want to be married with children. I don't want to just have children, because that comes from what I know and what I've seen in a marriage, and how I see two people grow and love each other and build together a whole lifetime and become real partners. And my mom, like I said, she would never, that was the love of her life, and that was it. That's all she knew. And she's not gonna she's just not going to do that again. But
Yeah.
as you go through life, you see that things are not as black and white. And then with my spirituality, I would say I'm a more spiritual person than anything else. And I really do believe that spiritually, you have different, you just have different, I guess, like seasons in your life, and people may be good for you. And you can see this with even friendships, like people that may be good for you in a certain time or provide for you in that season, they may not in another season. So I can see also how two people that may not have the same vision of life or just the same values or principles, how they can grow apart from each other if they're not trying to just work on staying together with each other, if that makes any sense. And I think that you can have different people that mean something to your life in a very deep and spiritual way, more than one person in your lifetime. I think that can happen.
Yeah. And I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe because you started early in the game in your career and started, that way. So do you think a lot had to do with what you've seen through other people in that industry? Like,
when you're in this industry, you're open-minded, and you have, as you see a lot, you just get to
I can only imagine.
So, and like I said, everything is not, I think as you get older in life, you learn to judge less because things are more complicated than we see them as on face value. People are dealing with so much. I mean, even how you're raised and your parents and your parental upbringing and just different things like that can set the tone for your entire life. So I think that things are not, if you came from a single family home and you didn't see the other examples, then I can see how easily you would fall into that same routine, and it's hard to break sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
Would you say then, okay, because you said like what somebody's, the family they come from is going to affect the way that they view things.
It can a lot of times, or it cannot. There's some people that break away from that whole thought process.
Is that something when it comes to, I guess, like the dating scene for you? Is that something where you kind of got to know that somebody is down to go down that path? Because we've had like relationship coaches on here and stuff like that, where we've asked that question: how soon is too soon to talk about marriage? And with me, I'm kind of like, well, shoot, talk about it off the rip, because at the end of the day, if the person ain't into what you into now, you end up falling for them. It's like, oh shit, it's too late. Now it's like, I love you now, and you kind of looking at life different than I am. So would you say that's like a prerequisite? Like a dude, he kind of got to be on that tip where he's about marriage and kids and all of that?
I would say like now at this point in my life, absolutely. Maybe earlier in my life and I was dating and having a good time or just getting to know myself and getting to know other people. I was really more, my career was first. So I was really not trying to be locked down or bogged down by a relationship. And then I thought that it would kind of hold me back from what I was trying to do. And that may or may not have been true. That was just my thought process at the time. But I think now, like you coming in the door, like know that I am definitely looking for a long-term relationship and to build a life with somebody. So I think that's an important conversation. And a lot of times, sometimes you meet a great person or the right person, but just at the wrong time in their lives. And they're not ready for the same thing that you're ready for at that time.
For sure. And see me, I'm doing it backwards. I wish like, hell, that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. Do what you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you leave school, just go to work. You know what I mean? Like, don't do whatever you want to do first, because now I've had a marriage, I'm divorced, I have these kids, and now I'm learning for the first time in my life. And I admit it to people. People be like, oh, I'm getting a bag, I'm a hustler. I'm like, I'm just learning how to do all this. Because I was a wife, I was a girlfriend, you know what I mean? I was, home with my kids, stuff like that. So I'm just now learning how to be where works first. I ain't even trying to, I already have fun. I'm not even doing that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's so weird how, you know what I'm saying, life can be for different people.
Exactly. Well, would you say it was a defining moment for you that made you get up? Because being that you come from a culture that is, all about like, we got to do it this way. It's a reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to guess it was probably just hip hop that helped you accept and say, you know what, I don't have to do it that way. But is there a defining moment where you remember like, man, when I listened to this album or when this happened to me, that's when I was like, you know what, I don't got to do it the way like my family and my culture do it. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, I guess that was my thought process without even knowing it. I was like, as soon as I get out of my parents' house and get to college, I'm gonna dive right into this world and see if it's for me, because I just really love music and I wanted to be a part of it any kind of way. And then to be in hip hop, that is also so rare as a woman of my background and stuff like that. I mean, to be that far into hip hop, I mean, you have to love it to be in it. You know,
Yeah.
I tell people, like, don't get in the music business if you are trying to make a quick dollar, because it's not. It's not a quick dollar.
Yeah, it's dedication for sure. Passion and all that. Yeah.
What, like, so you are into the mindset that talent development is still important, right?
Absolutely. I think
so. With you coming from an industry where a lot of execs is pressure on them, you know, for the turnaround, that has to do with, you know, your tenure. You know, would you say in this day and age, people who are saying, well, hey, they got to already have it packaged together before, you know, I get to it, would you say would you say it's more of the pressure from their day-to-day job that's putting them on that? Or do you really feel like that's the case as well, to where it's like, you know, you still want to develop talent, but they already need to be at a certain level before you even get involved?
I think it's the internet changed that for the music industry. And I think the digital world, it's because it's so now easy to see and access. Like, artists can really build their own platforms and their own fan base. And so the labels now want it to be kind of already prepackaged and ready to go, including having a following. So that's what the internet did. It made it more accessible to people, but it also made it, I think, a little bit harder to break through. It not harder, because you can break through, right, and have internet success even, but it made it harder for the labels, because they used to have that, they were the gatekeepers of what they thought was dope or poppin' or what they wanted people to listen to. And now people get to the consumer gets to decide what they like. And I think that because it's so easy for artists to just record music in their house and throw it on the internet, the art of the music is not as up to par as it used to be. And I think that they still require that development. It depends on what you want to be. If you just want to be a trendy artist that has a couple of hits and then, you know, you do that, you can do that. But if you want to be a Beyonce, if you want to be a Michael Jackson, if you want to be something that has longevity and that's really like a superstar status, that takes a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of training. It's not something you just wake up and you just do.
Right. At all.
Right.
True.
Just because I want to try it out.
Exactly.
And so I wanted, and this probably is just changing the whole subject, but I had seen in one of your interviews when you brought up about at the moment of when the Me Too movement was going on, and you thought to yourself, where you were like, in this industry, you were like, man, if this was going on and that's bad, everybody should have been in jail. You know what I'm saying? so and I was just curious, you know, with that, has things changed? Because, you know, you've been there for a long time. So was it more so back in the days, or is it still really like that, where like you get tried like that?
I mean, I think men are going to be men, and they're going to try you as much as you allow them to try you.
For
so
sure.
I think that has not changed, but I think the difference now is the exposure, women having more of a voice to speak up if somebody does. And when I say that, I'm just talking about people just like doing friendly flirting with you, but I'm not talking about somebody that may have sexually assaulted somebody or raped somebody. Those are serious accusations. And so, you know, for now, I think that men have to be more cautious in what they do and say, and to women, because women now have a platform to say, hey, that makes me uncomfortable. That's not okay. I'm not going to accept that. And I think that it just needs to balance itself out. You know, I think that we're in extremes of it, and it'll eventually get to a point where it balances itself out. But even men to other men saying like, hey, bro, like, that's not okay. Like, you shouldn't be doing or saying that. Like, men should be speaking up too when they see something
as well.
Right.
Right. Of course. Yeah. And that's what I was just curious about. Like, maybe because things have changed where like you getting exposed. I don't give a damn. Like, you know, it's more of that now than back in the days where things were just like not talked about. So I was just wondering, have you seen that change?
Yeah, I see that change. That's not I'm not a big person of like exposing things. Like that's not
Yeah.
my world of what
Yeah,
how I
for
would handle
sure.
it. But I definitely would say that like being a woman in any male dominated industry, you have to have tough skin. You're gonna have
Yes.
to take some jokes on the chin. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it happens. And
That's why I felt you when I heard you say that. How you said it.
yeah,
'Cause I have 5 brothers, so
right.
I'm that girl too, where I'm like, it just really ain't that unless you really literally like touch me and you really like it's an actual assault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm not saying that shit. So when you said it and responded, some people probably wouldn't even understand how you really like felt about it. But I was like, nah, I feel it on that because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
That's
want to
how
get that misconstrued. I feel like if somebody has really done anything wrong to you
for
and
sure.
made you uncomfortable in any way, you should be speaking out and getting the help that you need,
For sure.
or however you want to handle that situation. But I think that like if listen, I run around with Tip and his whole crew all day. You don't think they're
Right.
making jokes and we're having fun and we're
Right.
we're kikiing and laughing. Of course we are. And you can't
Okay.
you got to take things with a grain of salt. You can't get so offended by everything.
Absolutely not.
So
No.
was to piggyback on what we were speaking about earlier, right? When it comes to the talent development thing. So with someone like Tip, where it's like, you got music, film, the podcast, being like an activist, like him being so multifaceted with what he does that kind of make you look at it where the modern day talent nowadays kind of needs to be triple or like quadruple threat? Because Joe Budden was mentioning, I think it was like the last podcast, he was like, the labels now, they fighting for attention. It really ain't about the music. Really, you're fighting for attention, just like the person that has a podcast or has a film or anything else. Do you think that's now like the modern day talent has to be that hybrid for it to work?
I think so. I think what happens is music, and we don't make money on the sale of music anymore. Music
It's
is
like
your
a commercial,
right.
pretty much.
Music is the platform to the ground, the foundation for your brand, but your brand has to expand outside of that. And it doesn't have to do all of those things, but I think that it's important to be multifaceted and to do different things. And that's what I really love with working with Tip, is because he does have a brand that we don't talk about music that much. We talk about a lot of other things. He does real estate. He does a lot of activism work. I helped him launch the podcast expeditiously. Like there's so many other things that he has in his empire. And that's what's really, truly building like a superstar empire. I think you need all those other components to build the brand that is a legacy brand.
For sure.
Important.
Well, who else besides Tip, like in the industry, that you personally look up to, that have given you a chance in the industry and working in your career or anything, or helped you out any way?
I mean, of course, Reid, because he opened the door for me. He hired me. I was only 21 years old. I was one of the youngest people at Def Jam. He gave me a shot. He really opened that door for me. And I learned so much about how to be great, how to listen and to understand music, how to spot talent, how to spot superstars, and just how to do business in this industry. So like he definitely gave me a lot of the game.
Okay.
So well, my mom, she attempted her own life a couple times, and with what happened with Shakir Stewart, if you wouldn't mind speaking to just how that changed the way that you view life, and also how you got past that. Because with me, I know like I really value any time with friends, family, whoever, because it's like I really don't know. It's like this could be, what I'm saying, that moment where it's that last time. So I didn't know if that changed you at all, and what you did to get past that.
Oh, it changed my whole life. It definitely changed my perspective on life forever. And it was a very tragic and difficult thing for me to go through at really a young age. I was only 25 and I was his right hand. I knew everything about Shakir. We talked every single day. If Shakir was still alive today, we would be doing something together right now. Like I was going to ride with him till the wheels fell off. And so for me, it taught me that we are not in control of how life unfolds, that we must really pay attention to people that we love, and to just kind of that our mental health is so important. And I don't think we talk about it enough. I don't think we're as aware as we need to be, with, I think we talk about exercising and being healthy physically or just being healthy emotionally, but the mental health aspect of life is so, so important. And I think that that's just one of my missions is to bring a lot of awareness to mental health. And for me, it just, there's so many lessons that came out of that tragedy for me, but I would say the most is that you are not in control of how things like unfold. And it's all about how you react to it. And it's about having a good team of like accountability partners and friends and family that really are there for you and can keep you grounded and
like a personal board of directors.
Yeah, exactly. And that can notice when you're not yourself. And that
you off your square, you got to tighten up. You got to have somebody pull you by your coattail.
Right.
That's deep.
Yeah.
And I definitely.
And thank you for sharing that.
Grateful for you sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you don't learn from past even failure, if what you think is failures or mistakes or just hard situations like that I remember feeling like I don't know how I'm going to continue in the music business. That's how I felt. It was a lot for me to just be like, okay, I can keep moving forward. It was just a lot. And those are the real lessons. The ones that bring you to your knees are the ones that really help you grow as a person.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got like a lot, like, so from, wanting to get into the public speaking space for mental health, right?
Yeah.
I've heard you mention before your business manager, I think Keon Williams who's inspired you to want to get involved in real estate and tech. And, and then you obviously, we're just going to go ahead and claim it. You know what I'm saying? We got marriage and kids that's coming around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we are. We got to claim that.
So who is it that for you, you know what I'm saying, that helps? Because, obviously you play a big role. I think you, Brian Asher, play a big role in keeping things together for Tip. Who is it that does that for Dina to help her keep all these different pieces together?
I think Keon is really my main person for that. She helps me figure out how to a lot of it is managing my time and money because I'm not good at that. I know how to make money. I know how to spend money really well, but to figure out what to do with it and to grow it and to manage it, just to diversify income streams, to invest in things. That's really important. I mean, Tip has taught me a lot just on the business side of investing and just doing stuff like that as well. But I would say Keon is one of the main people. And I have other friends that really do help me out. And then obviously my new business partner, Courtney, she's amazing. She's fabulous. And I wouldn't have partnered up with her if she's not. She helps me with a lot of things. And we're kind of like spiritual sisters. So we're aligned in the way we feel about the universe and how things operate. And so, yeah, I just keep a really close-knit team of people that I would say the most important thing is that they care about me as a person and my growth. And it's not about what I do. It's not about who I'm around or what I can accomplish.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Gotta be unconditional.
Right. Yes.
Damn. So with you speaking on like the health stuff earlier, right? Me and Toya, we both vegans. So
nice.
Yeah, you spoke on being an occasional vegan, but I know like from your routine. I've
seen that. It's hey, listen, it's hard.
It's like I think you say you start your day off with like prayers and affirmations, you meditate, you work out, you juice, you meal prep, then you try to get your hour or two to yourself. That's a lot, but it's important.
Yeah.
So
right.
Somebody like you who's traveling in and outside of the country and everywhere else in the world, right? How would you say you're still able to maintain like your figure, your mental health? How do you do that? Because it's hard to get that time in for somebody that does not travel, people that just working like a 9 to 5, but you going all over the world. How do you still get all that in?
Yeah.
Well, it's a work in progress. So I didn't have it together before the pandemic, before we got shut down, and I was definitely had gained some weight and my schedule was so all over the place. I could never keep a good routine. And so when things stopped, I was like, this is the perfect time for me to focus on my health, to look back at myself and get myself to the look, to look the way I want to look, to feel the way I want to feel. And so I worked really hard for 6 months. Like I started at like, I was like 137 and now I'm like 122. So I lost a lot of weight, and it was because I stayed, consistent in my workout routine, but it's also your diet. And it was about counting my calories, and it was about cooking my own food. Like I love to cook, but I never had time to cook before. So this just gave me the opportunity to cook my own stuff. And I know the world is going to open back up again, and we're going to be back on this train. But while I have this downtime, I was like, I got to take advantage of it, and hopefully I can just maintain it as things get back to normal.
For sure.
I think I see. I think I seen you one time. You said I'm an unofficial spokesperson for NutriBullet. You had like something there. So I was like,
yeah. No, and you know what's so funny is I don't juice that much anymore, but I am an advocate for like intermittent fasting, where I do it for
clutch.
Yeah.
It gets your abs right.
Right. I do it for like just resetting my body and kicking my metabolism into gear, but I also do it for spiritual reasons. So whenever I want to talk to God and I need some answers, I fast.
For sure. I'm so big on that. I try to tell everybody, like, really try to conquer that first. Because if you ain't taking that time to let everything go, you putting something good on, something on top of bad, it just doesn't really help anyways. I'm big on that.
Putting good on top of bad. Okay.
And there's a lot of, I always make this joke, but there's so many unhealthy vegans, because vegans don't know sometimes what to eat or what to get, and they like to eat a lot of processed. Like I wouldn't like, so my whole thing is like, I don't want something that tastes like chicken or tastes like steak. Like if I'm going to do that, like I'm going to just eat that. Right. But all the processed foods are not good for you. So I'm a big advocate of really eating live foods, like just fruits and vegetables. And if you don't want to eat meat, good. I eat a lot more fish. And my diet, I would say, is a lot more the Mediterranean diet. Is just my background anyway. But I just love making things light, simple, and fresh.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And see me, with having 4 children, and it costs a lot of money to be healthy. Okay, so I have to kind of put my being vegan on the back burner. So with how I do it is get a lot of processed when I really want raw. You know what I mean? Like that's how I would prefer. But I'm gonna sacrifice for my kids. I'm gonna do what's fast. I'm gonna do what's cheaper. You know what I'm saying? And I've had to survive being vegan, being a mother. You know what I'm saying? So with that, like,
your kids are not vegan.
No, but it's weird because they're getting to the point they don't like meat. So they're big seafood. So they're really more pescatarian, because now like I try to put some meat, like I'll cook like a dish that I used to cook or something, and they're like, it just smells bad. I can't do it. Like they don't. It's just, I don't know what it is. Like they just really not into meat
at all. Like I cut out chicken at all. Like I just don't even eat chicken in this country. Right. I just don't believe in it. So
that's why I have to do my fasting, because I'm an unhealthy vegan.
It's hard. I think it's hard though. I think because it's like with culture, culture makes it sometimes hard to break a lot of shit, because it's like my sister, she had died from a heart attack, right? She was like one of the most healthy people I knew. You know what I'm saying? I had a cousin, he had a heart, I mean, it wasn't like a heart attack, but it was like a heart condition. He was like 17. He was an athlete, and then some people that passed in my family, like I noticed the doctor always say the same thing. They always say, you know what, we're gonna switch their diet and do this. And I'm like, well, damn, like, why you ain't been told them that?
Yeah.
Because if you would have told them that like before this, maybe we wouldn't be where we are now. So in my mind, I'm like,
it's about prevention. It's
it's like, this tastes good, but I gotta stop, because I'm like, same thing gonna happen to me. And this is how we celebrate Thanksgiving and Sunday dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I would say everything in a balance. You don't have to be like that every day, but the majority of the time you should be eating. It's our relationship with food. Like you should be eating food that energizes you, that is nutritious, that gives you, it's like medicine, instead of eating things that just make you feel good. Because a lot of times our emotional is connected to our food and our diet. And so I would find myself stress eating or eating when, you eat when you're happy, you eat when you're sad, you eat when you're depressed, you eat when, but what all these different things. So like, you almost have to cut that tie of how you feel emotionally and how it's connected to the food. You got to eat to know that, okay, I'm full now. And I just, then that makes me feel good after I eat. It doesn't make me feel sleepy or doesn't want me, it's kind of changing that whole mindset. It's hard.
That's me, because see, I like rice. Yeah. And so like I will overeat. Like I just stress so much. Like that vegan, like it's cute, but it's not always healthy. Especially, and I had to learn that with the overeating. And that's where I learned that, okay, it's still, I'm gonna gain weight. I'm still gonna have a stomach, you know what I mean? Like my little love handles, because I'll overeat. And it's very easy to
That's
do.
The other thing is like we eat too big of portions in America. Like if you just cut everything in half and just eat more times a day, or just eat less, you will be a lot healthier. It's just you're eating too big of a portion. And when you go to restaurants all the time, which is what I was doing and not cooking for myself, so I know what's in the food, you get all this extra stuff that you don't really need in your body.
Right.
How much would you attribute the times that you were working with Ross to his health transformation? Because when you look at the timeline, right? I know, like, you helped decorate, you know what I'm saying, the Holyfield estate, right?
So it's with a little couple things here and there.
So when you look at that, I'm wondering, would you say that kind of had like an effect on the transition? You know what I'm saying? As far as,
a lot of times when me and Ross get together, we do work out, and I actually introduced him to his boxing trainer, Almighty, and he still uses them to this day. So I would say that I don't know how much of a, I just say that he always knew that if he wanted to get a workout in, I was there to be supportive, and I was there to work out with him.
Environment played a big part.
Yeah, I can't say he's on his own journey of that, and I think he's doing a great job. His health is, improving, so that's good. And no, I mean, I would hope that I help to inspire anybody that I'm around, but I didn't have it together. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm figuring it out. I figured out what was the best thing for me, and everybody's a little bit different. So, but I know, like, it's interesting because the way you are raised is a big component of how you treat food. And so, like, a lot of people, I grew up, my mom never had butter in the fridge. Like, we didn't cook with butter. We cook with olive oil. That's just what we do. Right. So it's just like those fundamental things, that little things can change a lot, like not drinking sodas, like, just so many things. But I think the portion size in America is just out of control.
It is. That's probably like the biggest problem. It's really not the food.
Yeah. So fellas got to know they gotta be ready to get married, have kids, and they got to eat right.
So, because if I'm cooking, you're going to eat healthy stuff. Like, I always tell people, like we were just talking about the other day, I don't know how to like make mac and cheese or fried chicken or do any of those things. Like, I can't do that stuff. I can learn, I'm sure, and I can probably make it a treat here and there. But if I'm going to cook, I want to cook live. I want to cook food, vegetables, live foods. Like
the words you said treat, not staple. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking the right type of game to keep people here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So some we definitely thank you for taking the time out with us. Yes. We ask every guest that come on Pretty Lies and Ugly Truths, from what you spoke of about your circle being important, we all are some of the 5 people that we are around the most. You know what I'm saying? Whether we are around them physically or we're communicating with them. So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and shout out the 5 people that are in your life that play the biggest part in what we see from Dina Marto.
I would say my new business partner, Courtney Rhodes.
Okay.
And we're aligned in a lot of ways, and that's why we're partners, and we're going to be doing a lot more together. So she's definitely a big component. Keon Williams, who's my business manager and has helped me in every step of my career since she got on board. Narcissus, my best friend, who is with the Hawks and State Farm Arena. Matter of fact, we just went down and voted with her the other day, and that's what's up. Yeah, she made that process.
She started the 6 degree relation, or 6. I forgot.
Man, y'all have done your homework. I don't know how y'all know all of this stuff.
She's like, y'all in my business.
Y'all have really done your homework. Like, no, that's really impressive. Like, a lot of people, I feel like I'm always repeating my story to them, and like, no, you guys really. That's impressive. So I appreciate that because it makes the guests feel a lot better. So yeah, she started 6th Degree with me. We went to middle school together.
Yeah.
So
that's a day one for real.
Right.
Day one for one. Of course, I'm around T.I. all the time, so he's a big influence in my life. And I would also say my other friend, Makita Stewart, who is Tricky Stewart's wife, and I actually introduced them. And so yeah. So they got married and had 2 beautiful children. And so she's a person I talk to every single day. And we met on the first day of college.
So they owe you, basically.
They definitely owe me. And they definitely owe me. Like, I'm glad we have that on record. Like,
right.
Facts. Would you if real quick, Marto Minute Money, are you ever gonna start that again?
And I don't know, it was so time consuming, and it got to be a lot, especially when I got on Tip's team and I was traveling so much with him. I got to, because like people don't realize, like I had to set it up, I had to get my time, I got to get a different look. And
you only got so much time
you know what I mean? So I want to bring it back in some kind of way. I just got to figure out what it's going to be. But I definitely love giving advice and helping just share my knowledge with people that want to receive it.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's no such thing as a shameful plug here on Pretty Lies and Ugly Truth. So
okay, good.
You can pretty much, plug away like everything that you got going on with the agency, whatever. You plug the @ signs, hashtags.coms, whatever, so people can get in contact with you and spend money with what you got going on. Go ahead and shout it out.
Please follow me on Instagram. You'll see my cooking. I often post it on my stories. It's at Miss Marto, MISSMARTO, same on Twitter. And then also I have a website, dinamarto.com. It's DINAMARTO.com. And then for the new agency, if you're interested in anything with that, if you're interested in working with us, women that have skills that they just want to submit their resume, do it on cndtheagency.com.
Awesome.
Bet.
Yeah, definitely.
Right with that. You know what? I was gonna really mess with you. I was gonna tell you to name 12 people when you usually ask 5, but I know 12 is like your magic number for like.
Man, that would have been hard. That's a lot.
Yeah, you went too far.
Keep my circle pretty tight.
Right.
12 is an amazing number. That is
like the faith, divinity, and
mine is 11. So I feel yeah.
12 is a divine number. That was it was me taking a leap of faith to leave Def Jam and start my own business. So yeah, that's the whole reason I called it 12.
Wow.
Well, you just went nowhere.
I just want to say appreciate you, Dina. For coming on. I reached out to you, Diaz. So I definitely really appreciate you. Been seeing you over the years, making your moves, and definitely appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I tell people that's our Wizard of Oz, the guy behind the curtain. Yeah.
Hilarious. He just popped up. I was like, is there going to be a whole nother interview happening here?
That's the guy behind the curtain.
Little Jack in the Box.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
So pretty lies.